Well, we're waiting. Well, we're waiting. All right. The BounceFL. BounceFL. New program. It's called Animate. We're going to go to the launch pad. And we're going to go find the red AN right there. And you're going to drag it down to your start bar if you haven't already. And you'll have it on your start bar and you'll be able to start it from there from now on. Fun, great tool. This is the best tool in the world. I love this creating tool. All right, we'll always select. We'll always pick for Create New, Action Script 3.0. So under Create New, Action Script 3.0, that's how we're going to start all of our projects. 24 frames a second over here. 550 by 400 is our stage size. Right now I have one layer and my playhead's on frame 1. These are the drawing tools over here. We looked at these yesterday. These are the drawing tools from the pen tool all the way down to the brush tool and everything in between. We're going to start with the oval tool. You know it as the ellipse tool in Illustrator and Photoshop. In Flash it's called the oval tool just because it's fun to say oval. And we got a stroke and a fill. The stroke is the pencil icon. The fill is the bucket. And right now I've got blue for fill, but I'm going to make it basketball color. Basketball color. And we've got stroke, which I'm going to make basketball lines color. All right. I'm going to come out onto the stage. I'm going to click, hold, and drag a ball. Yes, I said ball, because two-dimensional ball is a circle, and we're in 2 dimensions, X and Y. Also notice that Flash helps you draw perfect circles with the snapping, which could be turned off, but by default is turned on. So that helps you keep it as a circle. Of course, you can push it out of that snap and go oval or ellipse if you want. You could also hold the shift key down and then for sure, no matter what, it's going to be a circle. Okay? And once I've drawn it, I want to add some artwork to it. So I'm going to go to the brush tool, B for brush tool. And I'm actually going to zoom in. So I'm going to use the zoom tool here, Z for zoom tool. And zoom in so I could see my character, my ball a little closer. Go back to the brush tool. Now using the pen, my drawing tablet if I want, or my mouse. I'm going to go, oh, wrong color. Let me Command Z. Let's talk about colors in the brush tool. It's the bucket tool color for the brush tool. You got to set the bucket tool color. All right, so I'm going to set that to black. The bracket keys still work to make the brush bigger or smaller. Remember, I'm saying this fast. I'm saying a lot of stuff. It's a video. You pause, rewind, or fast forward wherever you want to, wherever you need to. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw my basketball lines in. Remember, oh, that's terrible. Remember, I'm not a trained artist. You are, but I'm not. Okay, I don't know. Does that look like a basketball? No. Oh, this is getting even worse. I'm making this even worse. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's why you should use the tablet. Okay, that's why you should take an art class. Command Z. Let me try that. Okay. All right, there we go. Yes, I am trying. I wonder if I use the eraser tool. If I could come in and erase some of that. Yeah, I can. Look at that. Looks just like. And remember, the eraser tool is also a brush, so you can make it bigger or smaller with bracket keys. Okay, there we go. Fix it a little bit. All right, I want to zoom back out. So actually, Command 0 doesn't work. I zoomed in to 400%, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go back to Show All. No, I'm going to go back to Fit to Window. Okay, Fit to Window is 173%, or I can go back to 100%. All right, now when I'm finished with my artwork, whatever artwork I want to do, I'm going to go to the selection tool now, V for select, and I'm going to go past top left edge of my ball, and I'm going to drag to past the bottom right edge of my ball to make sure I select it all. You know it's selected because it has all those little dots all over it. And now I want to turn this into a symbol, from a shape to a symbol. Right now it's a shape that I've drawn. I need to turn it into a symbol. Note that once you turn it into a symbol, you can't draw on it anymore, but you can reuse it, change its colors, and resize it. Okay, but you just can't add any artwork to it. If you need to, you'd have to draw another shape and turn that into a symbol. So I'm going to use the function keys on my keyboard. My function keys on my keyboard, I just tried to show you, but it doesn't reach. And at the very top, we went over these yesterday. At the very top, I'm going to look for F8, 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 okay, and hit that, convert to symbol. Try to name your symbols so it's easier to keep track of them, especially if you want to reuse them. So this is going to be an orange ball, and I'm going to click OK. Okay? Now it's a symbol. I can move it around and it stays together. Careful, this little center circle, if you accidentally double click on it, it's the pivot point, and it will move the pivot point and not move your symbol. So make sure you click somewhere other than that little center circle in there to move it around. Okay? Also, I can use Q on the keyboard. Q, as in QWERTY. Or I could come over here, and it's the third tool on the toolbar at the top right. That's the free transform tool. That's an important tool to use because, first of all, you can use it to move the object, but you could also change its size. You can rotate it, and you can flip it around, flip it, right? Really, if you played around with enough of the settings on a symbol, you could make this look like a completely different ball. Anyway, to make life easy for you, though, I'm going to hit Q again. No, I'm going to go V for the selection tool, so it would just show us the ball using the selection tool. All right, so I'm going to put the ball at the top. And now I'm going to start working on creating my animation. I'm just going to have this ball drop to the bottom and bounce back up to the top. And it's going to end where it starts. All right, so I'm going to use F6 to copy what's on frame 1 to frame 2. So I'm going to hit F6. Nothing happens except something did happen. If you look at the timeline on the bottom, the playhead's now on the second frame. And it's got a copy of my ball there. All right. If you want to turn, there's a feature. If you want to be able to see the previous frame below, so you see where it was, it helps you move it. You could go to the setting down here on the timeline, hover over it. It's called onion skinning or onion skin. And you'll watch what happens. I'm going to drag this down a little bit, but notice that it shows where the ball is on frame 1. Kind of shows where it was. So I'm turning that on because I want to see that. I'm going to hit F6 again, drag it down a little. F6 again, drag it down a little. F6 again, drag it down a little. I'm just going to keep repeating this. F6 drag, F6 drag, F6 drag, F6 drag, F6 drag. Okay? What happens when a ball hits the ground? Does it compress a little bit? Yes. And then bounce back, right? So it does, right? It kind of compresses under its own momentum and weight. So to do that, I'm going to use Q, and I'm going to hit F6 again, and on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and make it look like it compresses a little bit, right? Give it some real animation there. And I'm going to hit F6 again. And now I'm going to go back to the size that the ball was, and now my onion skinning is helping me see that size in the background. Okay, F6. Now the ball is going back up, going back up, going back up, going back up, and I made it to frame 25, down and up. So I've got my playhead here, and got my playhead here, and I can scrub it back and forth. Scrub it back and forth. So I could see any frame I put the playhead on, or the red marker, or the scrubby tool. I call it all three things, right? It shows you that what's on that frame. Shows you what's on that frame. And you can still move your object. You can make an adjustment to its position just by moving to that frame.
How did you play it?
Okay. To play it, if I want to play it as a preview, play my movie to see what it would look like in a separate window at full speed, at 24 frames a second, I'm going to hold down the command key and tap on the return key, and that will have it play in a separate window. So that's what it would look like on your website. All right. So that's one layer. I'm going to do a second layer now because I want two balls now, or something else to interact with this ball. So to do that, I'm going to go back, make sure my playhead's on frame 1, and I'm going to add a new layer. The layers are in the bottom left. Adding a new layer is very bottom left of the timeline. Right down here, I added a new layer. Layer 2 is on top of layer 1. So as I look at my animation, anything on layer 2 will be over the top of layer 1. Okay? And here's a real important thing to do a close read on with this training video. When you're ready to get started drawing your animation, you want to click on frame 1, layer 2. Click on that little circle that's on that frame. These little rectangles down here are called frames. And it's what you see here. Right now I see frame 1 on layer 1 and 2. Okay? So now I'm going to go to the brush tool, and I'm going to make a little stick man. I'm going to make a little stick man. Now I can't move any part of the stick man. The stick man will stay as it looks here. But I can move the stick man as a whole piece, okay, as a whole character. So when I'm done creating my stick man, I'm going to click, hold, and drag to select using the selection tool. Select it all. There's those little dots. I want to turn it into a symbol, so I'm going to hit F8. I'm going to call this stick man, and I'm going to click OK. I misspelled stick. That's okay. Right, so now I can move it around, and if I hit Q on the keyboard, I can resize it. Right, I can change its size, and I can rotate it, and I can flip it. Okay, I can do all those things to it. All right, so I'm now ready to do my animation. So this is what's really important. Notice that on layer 2, all the layers are highlighted. So when I hit F6, it's going to copy that one layer, frame 1, layer 2. It's going to copy it all the way across. All the way across. All right, so if it does that, what can I do? Well, I can, let me see, I hit F6. See how it did that? So now no matter where I play where my playhead is, my guy doesn't move. Well, I could just go to the second frame on layer 2, and I can move my guy at that point. I could start doing it that way. But there's another way you could do this too. So I'm going to Command Z to undo all of that right to there. So I'm starting over again on my layer 2 animation. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to click, single click on frame 1, layer 2. So now I have nothing highlighted to the right. So when I hit an F6, it just creates a new layer, a new frame on layer 2. It doesn't copy them all the way to frame 25. And now I can do my moving. Now I'm doing the same thing I did I got to make sure I click on it. Now I'm doing the same thing I did on layer 1. Right? And now I could start rotating a little bit too, if I wanted to. Okay, so my stick figure is going to also bounce off its head. So of course I have to compress it, because when it bounces it compresses, right? Get it back to the way it was, sort of. Back to the way it was. After the bounce. And he's going to start to rotate. So see how I'm leaving it with the free transform tools, the edit boxes around it?
Yeah.
That will allow me to quickly, easily do these edits. And you could have your animation, your characters can go out onto the artboard and they will go off the stage, so they'll be out of your show. They won't be part of it anymore. So you could have your characters kind of waiting on the side and bring them in when you need. All right, so that's 2 layers that I just did. Let me do a command return. Okay, so that's what this looks like now. I want you to give me one more layer, just like we did. Give me one more layer with one more thing, one more character that you add to this. And then when you're done with that, you've got your 3 layers, all your animation. That's when you're done. Then you want to, first of all, you got to save this anyway. So File, Save As. Make sure you're calling this BounceFL. BounceFL. Make sure it's going into your documents, not your downloads folder, your documents folder. Keep it as an animate document, which is a .fla, and click Save. And now we're ready to export it. So to export it, I want you to go to File, Export, Export Movie. No, I want you to go File. I got to change that. File, Export, and we want animated GIF. We want this to be an animated GIF. So this looks very familiar. Notice the background is checkerboard. That means that this animation will happen without a background. So whatever background is on your web page is what will be the background. That might not be good. That might not be what we want. So I'm going to go and find this transparency and check that so that I have a white background. If you set your stage color on the properties, it would be that color. Let me show you that. Let me cancel this. The stage. Here's the stage properties. If you don't have those, just click on your stage somewhere in the blank area of your stage and you'll see the stage properties right here. What color should I make my stage, you guys? What's a good basketball background color? Maroon. Yeah, we'll make it maroon for
Paramount Pirate.
yes. Okay, we'll make it that. All right, so now let me try this. So I'm going to go Command S.
Number 10 on the beat.
There's my Command S. So I'm going to go File, Export, Animated GIF, Export Animated GIF. Oh, it didn't happen. There it is. You still got to click the transparency button, and then you'll get that color. You'll get that color, what you set for your stage. And now keep it at 550 by 400. Don't change the size, because these animations have more detail, so we want it to be a little bigger to see it. And now I think I'm ready to go. Right, this is going to play forever, looping forever. And I'm going to click Save. And notice I'm going to have a BounceFL.gif. I'm going to click Save again. Now I'm going to log into WebStarts. And I'm going to go to my animation page. And I'm going to go and upload BounceFL.gif or GIF to my animation page. And then I'm going to label it BounceFL. And I'm going to save it. And I'm going to get graded on it. I'm going to get an A. I'm going to get an A in this class. Thank you very much. Hopefully that Just for the heck of it, though, let's go. Let me go find. So I'm going to go to my documents. I just want to show it to you. Yeah, it's an image. It is an image. Good point. It's not a movie. It's an image. It's a GIF. So you got to upload an image. That's why there's no sound. We could have made this into a movie too and added sound to it. And that we'll do that next. Next project we'll add sound and turn this into a movie instead of a GIF. Okay? So here's my GIF. Here's my GIF. I'm going to click on it. It's not working. I got a preview. I got to open with my browser. Going to open it up with Google Chrome, and there it is. There it is. Oops, there it is. Oops, there it is. Oops, there it is. Oops, there it is.
Oops, there it is.
Oops, there it is. Oops, there it is. Oops, there it is. Oh, they're dancing, but they're not singing with me. Oh well. All right, so that's it. There we go. That's too long of a video, I'm